An important concept when we're thinking about language and thought and arguments is the concept of propositions. Now, it's somewhat controversial in philosophy when people start talking about propositions, but we're trying to stay, for the sake of thinking logically, we're trying to stay away from any kind of deep philosophical problems about what these things are. But we notice if we say things in, for example, in different languages, if we say it's raining, we say the French equivalent, we say the German equivalent, Russian equivalent, Chinese equivalent. We're expressing the same thing. We're using different sentences to say the same thing. What we say is what each of these sentences is expressing is a proposition. It's sort of a thought. And notice propositions, kind of like statements, are true when they correctly represent things. That is, when they represent the world the facts the way we find them, and false when they aren't, when they don't do that. And with regard to logic, we like to say that these propositions that are expressing statements, making statements in different languages, expressing the same proposition, they have truth condition. And these are the conditions that have to be met for the proposition to be true. So, for example, the proposition, that it is raining now in Brooklyn. In order for that to be true, right now, there has to be precipitation, moisture, water falling from the sky in Brooklyn. And otherwise the truth conditions aren't met. Now, propositions, we sometimes contrast them with concepts. For instance, the concept of a dog, the concept of a chair, the concept of a triangle. These concepts don't have truth conditions, right? A triangle isn't true or false. A dog isn't true or false. But what's kind of interesting is people think that propositions kind of use concepts in certain ways. But the important thing is to understand that propositions are the kinds of things that are either true or false, and they're true or false dependent on what it is that they're describing, whether they're correctly describing them or whether they're not correctly describing them.